Hey there, everybody. Franklin Taggart here, and it is time for another virtual coffee break. I have some coffee. How about you? You grab your beverage and let's chat for just a minute. So the question that keeps coming up today seems like it's come up in some of my personal conversations more than my professional conversations, but it is kind of along the lines of, what does a person do when they don't know what they want to do? And I feel like that's a great question to ask, because there are some times in our lives when we really don't have a clear idea of what we want. We, maybe have finished something, or something else has come to an end, or something else is coming to an end, and we've been in such a groove with the things that we've been doing up until now that we've not really thought beyond what happens after that other thing finishes. And a lot of times we don't have a clear idea of what's next for ourselves. And there are a few things that I really feel like are important for us to remember. I think that we put too much stock in knowing what we want for our future, and we don't allow ourselves the opportunity to explore. And I feel like that's an important thing that kind of needs to be added back in to our human experience. It's like we start putting pressure on kids to know what their future is going to be when they're like 10, 11 years old. And I think that's stupid. 10 and 11-year-old kids just don't have any idea about life and, what's even possible. So we shouldn't be projecting this idea that they need to know what their future is going to be, before they even get to adolescence. I think that's a silly thing. And I think the same thing could be said for adults. It's like we don't have to know what's going to happen. It's nice to have plans. I'm not going to oppose them. But there are just some times when you really don't have a clear idea of what you want, where you want to go from here, what makes sense for you. And I think that exploration is just one of the facets that we need to add back into the mix. The other thing that I think that we need to look at is the expectation that if you have something that you enjoy doing and that you're good at, that you should do it forever. That's another assumption that I think really needs to be challenged. I don't think that we're bound to a direction for our whole life. The only thing that we can't escape definitely is death. So that is going to be at the end of it for all of us. But I've found it very interesting that there are some expectations. A good friend of mine and I were having a conversation about this earlier this week, where there's an expectation that if you love what you do, if you're a creative person and you're doing what you love, that you should just go ahead and do that forever. Like, you can't quit. There's no retirement for that. So it's a similar kind of a thing. It's like we're not allowed to explore other possibilities outside of what we're good at. And I feel like that there's something wrong with that idea as well. I think that each one of us has a number of options in front of us. And I'm not going to say that any of them are the wrong or right option, but there's just there are a number of things that we can choose from in our life. And being able to really experiment and explore and innovate and try new things, I think it's just an important part that we have to put back into our way of living, and as a part of our figuring out what our life is going to be about. It's like, I know for my son, he's getting all of these college application invitations and things like that now that he's a junior in high school. And he still doesn't really have an idea of the direction that he wants to go. He's tried a lot of things and he likes a lot of things, but he hasn't settled on one path yet. And so I hesitate to say that he should, jump right into college and declare a major when he doesn't have a clear idea of what suits him. So is there an intermediate track? I know for myself that it took me, I graduated from college after 6 years, and I still didn't have a real clear idea of what I was about. I knew that I loved music, and I knew that I was pretty good at business, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I've really had a lot of leeway in my life to try a lot of things. And it has made a huge difference in terms of the skill set that I have is unique, it's broad, it has a lot of facets, and I can come into a variety of situations and have enough knowledge to be useful in helping people make decisions and helping people to, put together strategic plans and things like that. But if I would have been stuck in one direction for the entirety of my adult life, I wouldn't have that same variety of skills, wouldn't have the same toolbox to work with. So for the people that I've been talking with that have been, who've been trying to figure out what they want, take the time that you need and really explore what's out there. And if there's pressure for you to, make a decision as far as like if you've got a family to provide for and stuff like that, there are ways that you can do that without sacrificing the exploration that you need to do. We've all taken on jobs to pay the bills, and that's always an option. And I've got a good friend who's an artist, and basically the thing that she says is that, if you have to pay the bills, get a job. Take the pressure off of your art. The artist under pressure very rarely makes the best decisions. So she says, get a job. Just go ahead and get yourself gainfully employed, and then you'll have the ability to focus on your art in the way that you want to. And I would say the same thing for anyone who's trying anything. It's like the experimentation that you need to do requires the space and the time to do it without the added pressure of having to make an income. So let yourself have time to explore your options. Look at, what fits. There are a lot of people that decide things by how things feel. There are other people that decide things by what makes sense. There are other people that decide things because they've got this intuitive compulsion that says that they can't let go any other way. So it's like however it is that you need to make your decision, I honor that. And give yourself the ability to just explore as many options as it makes sense to explore right now. And I have a feeling that it's not going to take, I don't think it's going to take long for you to find a direction that you want to go. It's just allowing yourself the permission to go wherever you want for the time being, to just check things out, be curious, ask a lot of questions. Just go out there and see what's possible before you make a longer term commitment. So that's all I got to say about that today. I'm really excited about Your Own Best Company tomorrow. Michael Roderick is the guest, and Michael is just a fantastic, creative, wonderful, thoughtful human. And I'm excited for everybody to get a chance to hear from him. In this particular podcast, we were talking quite a bit about becoming referable. And that is his specialty, is helping people to get conversations going about them when they're not even in the room. So that's going to be coming up on Your Own Best Company tomorrow. We'll be back with Coffee Break again on Saturday. Thanks so much, as always, for your time and your attention, and I'll see you tomorrow. So long.